So this is me going through the trades I've taken this week. And as you can see on Tuesday, we had a loss. Wednesday, we had a loss. Thursday, it missed my entry by literally a couple pips or a pip. And then Friday was the win. I'm going to give a breakdown of the trades. So this was the loss that I had taken. I'll go through it on the charts, but this is my entry on this area here. And then price ended up stopping me out here. And then as you can see, it melted to TP. And then this is this one here. Similar entry. That happened. And then this was the trade that I was looking to enter. As you can see, entry was there. Come to this area, went to TP, didn't tag me in. And then this was the winning trade. As you can see, retested in with a wick. Very nice. Not that much drawdown, maybe like 0 point something pips. It was a 6 hour trade, so I was in this for ages, but it did eventually hit TP. So now I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna just type in June, account balance, UP USD, founders session, initial date, Monday, end date, Friday. So I'm gonna break down each trade. So all my trades are taken on the 15-minute, and all I look for is a break of structure. Oops. All I look for is break of structure. What's times 7? And basically what had happened here is I entered off of this area with a 10 pip stop loss. Entered up this area, and as you can see, my target was a 1 to 3, and it ended up stopping me out. But what my strategy and how I normally handle and manage trades is I'll look in Tokyo session, which is this session, and if it breaks structure to the upside, which it did here, and then if it breaks structure to the bottom side, because for me it's broken both sides of structure, I normally wait for a retest in and then for a continuation to show. So me entering here based on this was kind of stupid because in my head I was thinking, okay, break structure to the downside, it's retested in, break structure again, and then enter off of here to take lower, which in the moment was correct and was a good way of thinking about it and taking the trade. But what I should have done is once the breaker structure happened and then it's retested in, understand that it can retest in as many times as it wants, right? As long as it doesn't break this high, then it should continue in this bearish momentum. So as you can see, I played the trade on. It did then go on to hit TP, as you can see. So what I should have done is I should have let this play out, and then this would have been my new form of structure, not this, because to me, this is all part of the same move. This bullish candle doesn't mean nothing, it's still part of this move. But then it trading up here is it creating this structure point, because as you can see, the highs created this low. Now this is the low, and then this is a new high, and the highs then broken structure. And then what I should have done is entered off of this point, doing the exact same thing for 1 to 3 here. That's what I should have done, right? And that would have worked because how price works is it normally repeats itself, you know? It normally repeats itself. So that was Tuesday, that was the loss and what I could have done better. Now, if we roll on to Wednesday, so as you can see, it has broken structure to the upside, broken structure to the upside. So I should have been aware of that, which I wasn't. And then it's broken structure to the bottom side. So it's broken structure to the upside and then to the bottom side. Did the exact same thing here. So I should have paid attention to that. It's then retested in. So then I've marked it up like that. And then I've looked for an entry from here with a 30 pip take profit, something like that. So 1 to 3. It's then retested in and it stopped me out. It stopped me out by, where's the thing? Where's the tool? Info tool. Stopped me out by 2.3 pips. 2.3 pips to stop me out by. And then it's gone to hit TP. So this trade was similar to this one, but yeah, it can work sometimes, it cannot work sometimes. But I need to understand that if it breaks structures outside, break structures downside, don't rush into the trade. Because even though this worked and I was just 2.3 pips off, it did do the same thing here. You know, I should have waited for this structure to play out. Doesn't mean it's going to play out every time, but I should have waited for that. As you can see, that was Wednesday. Thursday was totally different to all the other days. You know, it wasn't my normal entry style, really, to be honest. But to me, no structure has been broken. You know, you could say this is structure, which it is kind of, but for me, this would be the main structure to be broken. So let's just say structure, for argument's sake, let's say this structure is broken. Cool. So it's broken structure to the outside, broken structure to the bottom side, and then it's continued. Then I've seen, okay, cool. So since London session started here with a bullish candle. Since London session's open, there's not been any bearish candles until now. So there's two bearish candles. So I thought, okay, two bearish candles. What I'd be looking for is a continuation to the upside. So I'm going to mark the high. I'm going to mark the high and hope for a break above. But if it retests and breaks beneath, then we could see signs of reversal. So as you can see, big wick up, did not retest in. Well, I mean, big wick up, but didn't close above. So for me, that was the first sign. Okay, cool. So pretty sure I set my limit here. And I was looking for 1 to 3 again. Because as you can see, high creates low, then lows retested the highs, failed to close above it, and then continued. So I was looking for an entry from there, and as you can see, we get the info line again. It was 1.6 pips, 1.6 pips away from my entry, and then it hit TP. So yeah, that was annoying, but that happened. And then Friday was the winning trade. And the reason why it says $100 on the other two losses and then 1.5k is because I was using my 100k account on Friday. I used my 100k account Thursday, Friday. I used my 10k on Monday, Tuesday. It's just something I do. So as you can see, for me, this is okay. Clear bullish momentum here, but I don't look that far back, so it didn't really matter to me. So I just used the structure of Tokyo session. Okay, cool. We have a breaker structure to the low, breaker structure to the high, here. Now we're retesting into this area. As you can see, it's wicked into this breaker structure area. It's gone deeper into the area. Then it's had this big bullish candle up. So it's retested into this area and then had this big bullish candle closing above. So that was, for me, a very good sign because it's like, okay, cool. There's a lot of buyers in the market. Very strong push to the upside. And I was saying, I was thinking, this is going to be a quick trade. There's that much momentum for buyers. So 10 pip, stop loss, 30 pip, take profit. Yeah, 30 pip, take profit. And then price had come close to my area. As you can see, it wicked me in. See how much drawdown. So from entry to the wick, 0.5 pip drawdown. So it wicked me in about 9. I think I actually got into the trade at 9:05, but yeah, I'm pretty sure 9:05. And then it had gone all the way up, gone all the way up. As you can see here, this part was annoying. I entered at 9:05 and at 10:45, so an hour and 40 minutes into the trade, it was 0.8 pips away from my TP. Now, a lot of people would have closed it when it got that close, or when it started to reverse, they would have closed it and been like, oh, it's not going to hit now, or whatever. But I was like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'm just going to follow my plan. So I kept holding it, and then it was consolidating. It retested back in, but that wasn't a worry for me because I know if it breaks structure, it can retest the most recent structure again and again, as many times as it wants, you know? So it broke structure here, retested it in, retested with this candle, retested with this candle, retested back in with this candle, kind of retested here, retested here, then retested here. So this is US session. So I was thinking, okay, we're not in London session no more. We're in US session, and it's just retesting back into London session structure to continue. So it retested in for about at 1:45 and 1:30. Retested in with this other candle. I had no worries, and then it hit TP on this candle. I'm pretty sure. So if I go back, return to my dashboard and go to live in the trades. This is the trade I just explained. So 9:05 a.m. entry, 3:18 p.m. exit 3.32292, and as I just showed you this with the area marked up, this is when I actually got into the trade. It was 9:07, but I actually got in at 9:05. I took a screenshot 2 minutes later, and then it hit TP at 3:18 p.m. as you can see in the bottom corner. And then this was the trade I marked up, didn't hit. This was the trade I was talking about at the start. This is 9:19 a.m. Just so you know that I take the screenshots in real life time, and then I do the breakdown on the weekend. It's not just me going back and just making up trades that I haven't taken. These are all trades that I actually have taken. So yeah, so 2 losses this week. Two losses this week. That's not the wrong thing. Yeah, 2 losses this week. 2 losses this week, 1 win. So if it was all the same account, I would have lost 2% and then gained 3, so I'd be up 1% for this week, which isn't that bad. I tagged both of these trade ratings as good because I did follow my plan. I did follow my plan. This trade I rated as mid. The reason I rated this as mid is because it broke structure to the upside, retested in, and if I wanted to enter on the initial push, I should have just entered on the initial breaker structure. but I chose to enter on the retest, which wasn't the smartest. Yeah, which wasn't the smartest. But then again, wait, is this the same trade I just looked at? But then again, I did do the same thing here, so to be fair, this trade rating would have to change the mid as well, because I did the same mistake here. So two mid trades, one good trade, and yeah, that is my week of June. I don't trade Mondays. I only trade Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday. So the next update will be someday on the weekend, but that is my trade update for June 2026, 23rd to 26th. And that is it.